Right, we're on with the next video. Tonight we are going to learn, one being I can count to 12. Yeah. Two, an LT, which I didn't know, has double valve springs. Very naughty. So, I've made a little jiggery pokery thing. Excuse the welding because it was done with a stick welder. Yeah, I haven't got my MIG here at the moment, so very poor.
So bad you're welding it, gonna get a close up on it.
Yeah, look at that. Terrible. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna grind the valves in. So my little jiggery pokery thing goes there. Then we get this, because this I have borrowed off a very good friend, but it's for tractors with push rod engines. So basically the valves, you take the rockers off and they're above the head, not sat in the head like said overhead cam engine. So this will go there, and as I push said lever and make sure it's on the valve, I should be able to just go like that. Then my magnet, and then if I can get them, that is, we might need a little more. Oh no, we've got it. So there's two of them. Now they slot either side of a valve, which I've already taken one out.
That's clever, so you've made that little adapter.
Oof, yes.
Oh, clever.
Hang on, I'll get that valve out first. So pull both of them out. Obviously maybe get a better magnet than mine, because it's pretty poor. Yeah, cool. Hang on. That should... Come on. Yeah, maybe should have practiced this. That's two. So they're little bits. You don't really need to for them, but I tend to keep them sort of in order. Then we release, take the jiggery pokery out. Then magnet on the top, get the top. Then take the little valve spring out, quite a cute little valve spring, and the big doer of a valve spring. So there we go, look at them two, lovely. Not usually that they have double valve springs. And then, so you can actually see that valve there. If I, well, it won't do it now, but it's very, very sort of, it's almost moving down with gravity. I only have to tap it on the top and it's moving down, whereas I've put a new stem seal in here and that's holding it rigid. You have to push that all the way down, so that's quite nice and tight. So that's one of the things we're doing, is the valve stem seals, which are these little things here. So they just stop oil actually going into the ports and getting burnt, but still lubricate the valves. So slip over like that on the top. So look at that dirty 12 valve. Oof. So you can actually see there's quite a bit more wear than I possibly wanted on there. Ah, that's not good. So if we tip it over, yeah, so it's sort of slightly rounded. Can you see on the angle where there's a little bevel on it? So that's what we want to grind off, really. So that's where it comes when you can count to 12. If you can't, then I don't know. Maybe just start with a 4-cylinder. So that's number 2, by the way. This is number 1, and keep them in order, because the actual valve guides, shall I say, can wear slightly differently. So basically it's just keeping them in a better position, unless you was replacing all the valve guides, but we're not going that far. So yeah, pop that over there, and then flip it back over, and we want to do a bit of wiggling about and try and get the stem seal off, which hasn't proven too easy with the first one, but that one didn't go too bad. So yeah, that's just, they're basically worn, and I'm thinking that's why it was very smoky on startup, because it's burning a bit of the oil, and then obviously when it gets hot it's not as smoky, because it'll burn the oil better basically. But that's number 2. So we'll just go along, basically take all the valves out, all the valve seals out, and then grind them in, and then back together. So to basically save you watching me go all the way along and grind every valve, which is going to be extremely boring, I'm just going to show you one now, which you probably can't see on camera there, but that has got a little bit of pitting round it. So that's what we want to try and get rid of as well. So we've got a tasty new valve grinding kit, because I lost my other. So treat myself to a new one. If I can get into it, that is. After the trials and tribulations of getting into the valve grinding kit, we're going to get coarse end first. Dirty. Just run a little bit round, not much, because we don't want to be filling the ports with valve grinding paste, but there. Then that's about right size. Yeah. Plonk that in there. Whack him on there. Oh. It'll stick. Doesn't stick very well, does it? Crap, this new grinding kit. It didn't stick at all. So we basically want to do that quite a bit, and then you'll start to get like a nice dull sort of well, grounded bit, until there's no imperfections or little pit marks or anything, and it just helps it seal, because you might as well do it while you're here rather than leaving it. So it's already, with a couple of turns, started to go dull. So now I've got it dull, and quite a bit of the pitting out, I'm going to go onto the finer side, this fine end, and do the same with that, and basically just go a bit further, and then that is pretty much a grinding done. So just go all the way along, all the 12 valves, dirty, and then she's done. So pop that back in, go again with my rubbish non-sticking stick. I've just done, well, finished pretty much all the valves. This is the last valve going in. I've done the stem seals as well. They just sit pretty much on top, just round the shaft of a valve as such, and just seals the oil and stops it going in the cylinder basically and getting burnt. They just pull off with a pair of pliers, long nose pliers, just pull them off and then pop the new ones back on, and then just a bit of oil around the shaft of the valve when they go back in, so just to help it a little bit, and then pretty much just pop back in, and that's it. Then the last of the springs going on, I've cleaned pretty much what I did. Once I took them all out, I stuck it in the parts washer and cleaned the whole head up, inside the ports and everything, because the valves were absolutely caked in just burnt carbon rubbish basically. So that's all better now. We might get an extra like 2 horsepower out of it. Yeah, so springs back in, just both of them like that. Next thing is the cap, and then sit that in there, and then little pokery jiggery tool again, and just pretty much a reverse of what I've been doing to take them off, but it's just a little bit fiddlier because I just pulled them straight out with a magnet. It's a little bit fiddlier to get them back in. So next thing is, it is very awkward, and I have tried it with a magnet but you can't really get in, so I found the best thing is pliers again, but they're very hard to grip, so you've got to try and just get the corner of them, and then they have to go with the taper going down to the bottom, because when the spring comes back up it sort of clamps them both together like that round the top of a valve. That's one on. It's a bit awkward because of the lighting to see, but then get that on like that, and then you've got to try and edge it round because I can't get in as easily from the other side. But luckily the assembly lubricant is actually helping it stick to it rather than dropping off. So try and ease it round and then go for the other. So then very carefully, feel like a surgeon. Oh, and I've dropped it. He's dead. My patient's not doing well. Second time lucky. Don't trust me as a surgeon, but we're on. There we go. And then just steady away, release it back up, and then you see it just clamp the top in. That's spring in. There we go. And then a little bit of assembly lubricant around there, bit of extra oil, and then just, they are a very weird fitment, this ain't, but it should just then push in. Lovely. Perfect. So that's the head pretty much finished, all cleaned up, all ground in with the valves, and hopefully we should be a bit better off.